Brian here, the Motley Mix Merchant. Real quick, different kind of video for you today. I'm going to show you how I pack up some ceramic teacups. I do a lot of teacups, and just thought I would take a chance to show you how I pack them. I've already talked a little bit about some of the stuff that I use in my packing, but I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you, since I have sold a double set of teacups over the weekend and I have to pack them up for shipping tomorrow. So let's get at it. First of all, yes, this is my washer, my dryer. My actual packing area is covered up by hats. If you remember, I have a few hats right now, and they're in the process of being photographed and listed. So my regular dining room table, secondary dining room table is being used right now for hats. So this is it. This is what we have right now. So yeah, got my eBay box. Thank you very much, eBay, for the free coupon. This is a 10 by 8 by 6. I'm using this bigger one because of the fact that there's two cups and two saucers. So I'm going to pack them up together and all in one box. And guess where it's going? California. Of course it is. Got my packing material here. Small bubble wrap, small bubble wrap for wrapping around the items. And I've got my foam here. They just got a good supply from Hong Kong. Came in, these cost me about 60 cents each. So I'm pretty good with the fact that I'm putting these in there because there's not a lot of expense. I mean, this is a dollar store bubble wrap, and so that alone cost me $1.50. So, you know, these for 60 cents is a very good use of packing materials. A couple different kinds of tape. I'll tell you why I use 2 different kinds of tape in a minute. And then I also have some paper over there that I'll be using to line the inside and the outside. So first of all, the easy part is to wrap up the items. Now what I do is, when there's 2 plates, or even more plates, I wrap them together, not touching each other. Now this piece, let me get this piece ready here. Okay, so this might actually be a good one to show with. Go like this. Cutting it this way makes one long strip, medium width. So this unfolds this. What I do is, with 2 or more, I go like this. I'll start off with a piece on the inside to cover the inside part. Now what I would do if there was more than one piece is I would put the next plate there, and I would fold over, and I would put the next plate and I would fold over, and so on. But because there's only 2 pieces going with this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap at this first one a couple of times, like that. And then I'm going to put the second one on top, because now there's 2 levels of bubble wrap in between the 2 of them, so nothing's going to happen there as far as contact or pressure contact for either of them. And then we're going to wrap up the rest of this with bubble wrap. So now there's 2 layers on top here, 2 layers in between, and the bottom's got 5 layers, 6 layers. That's how many times it went around. Now I'm going to tape this up, and the secret is to tape it up fairly tightly. I actually leave it not super tight. A lot of people say to do it tightly, but you know what? If it's got a little bit of give to it, not give that it's going to move around inside the bubble wrap, but give that it at least has got bulges and that kind of thing. Who cares? It's bubble wrap, right? What I do is I don't try to fold over the edges, because you're just asking for trouble because you're pulling down on the thing. I just take the tape, and I use eBay tape on my internal taping. So all the stuff that's going to be inside of a box, I use the eBay tape. I got this actually at one of our Value Villages a number of months ago, about 7 months ago, for like $3. I got 12 rolls of eBay tape for $3. So what I do is I just pinch these together and tape them just like that. So you can see there's extra padding on the sides. It just gives you a little bit of extra space. Anytime there's space where something can't come in contact with the ceramic, that's good. So do this up and pull it a little bit, but now, see, now you've got extra padding on the corners. If you haven't pulled it, you've got one piece ready. Okay. Now the actual teacups, people have always said, you know, maybe you should fill the teacups and that kind of thing. And today I'm going to, not even with a lot of stuff, just with 1/4 of a piece of this bubble wrap because I just want to make sure that there's a little bit of, yeah, see, that's too much. So I'm going to cut this in half. Just put one piece of bubble wrap on the inside of that one. Doesn't have to fill up the whole thing, but it's just giving a little bit of support on the inside to support it from crushing. Now I've still got the other half of that piece of bubble wrap that I just used. I'm going to do this with it. So, same thing. Wrap it up a number of times, tape it around, and then I'll show you what I do with the handles. So first we'll wrap it up. I'll start off like this. Start off with the first layer. The first layer should be flat, touching your item. I don't know if anybody's ever said that to you, but I learned that from somebody on eBay. If you're using bubble wrap, make sure the flat side is the side that's touching the item, because that way the bubble is going to get crushed by whatever is coming at it as opposed to being crushed against the item. And that way you're protecting your item from getting any more crushing damage if something was to actually push on it. Gives you just that little extra, either there's 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch of protection. You're protecting just that much more against something crushing against your item. So put the flat side of bubble wrap against the item as the first layer. And then if you're wrapping it, it's going to obviously overlap itself. So I'm just taping these like this. Now what I'm going to do here, I do tape this fairly tightly on the corners around the handle, because that protects the handle from both sides. So this is the handle side here. We make a V basically leading out to the handle, but that's not all. Tape it up here, and then I'll come to the other side. Now the other side, I will pull it a little bit, bring it in and pull it in like this. It's good. Now, this is the handle, okay? To give that a little bit of extra protection, what I do, I've got a bunch of scrap cardboard down here on the floor, small pieces of scrap cardboard, and what I do is find a piece that's the right size. That's too small. You want to overlap the sides of the piece a little bit, the sides of the item. So I'll cut this up. Okay, so we've got, we'll go like this. I'm going to thin that down a little bit because it's a little too wide. What I do is I build a protective wall around the handle. So make a V shape like that, and I'll put this here and tape this to the side. There we go. So there's the first piece. Make sure it's nice. Actually, and again, there could be some room. Doesn't have to be completely super tight. I put it on so it's touching, but I don't have to worry about squeezing it super tight onto the item. So now it's taped. There you can see cardboard around the handle, and it's all bubble wrapped and ready to go in the box. So that's number one. And we'll do that again for number two right now. And I can talk about other things as we're talking. Yeah, what's to talk about? I'm getting pretty good, I think, at wrapping up the ceramics. I haven't had any breakages except for the one as I pick up the dull scissors. Sorry, the very, very dull scissors. I had the one item which was the figurine where the foot got broken off. I think that was my fault. I know it was my fault because I'm the one that packed it, but I'm pretty sure it may have actually, now that I thought about it later, months later I thought about it, I may actually have broken the foot off as I was wrapping it and putting it in the box. But you live and you learn. The buyer ended up being happy because I gave them a partial refund. It was still a good piece and they could fix it. So anyhow, that was that. Okay, so one more time with the cups. A little bit of support on the inside. Just a little, and then we wrap this all the way up. Make that straight. So just the right way. So let's do this quickly. All right. This is the handle side, so we're going to tape it on the corners there to make the V. Let's see how that looks. One. You can hear the tape. I have a closed off room here that's fairly soundproof because I'm not doing this in the nighttime, but sometimes when I get home from work at 4 o'clock in the morning, I have to pack things up to take them, to ship them. And this sound of this tape wakes up the entire household sometimes, but today it's afternoon when I'm taping this, so it's all good. Okay, so there's that. And again, small piece of cardboard. Let's get this one. That looks pretty big. Not enough. So that back down there. The bulge make a little. I think that's where the handle is going to go, right in there. Go like that. Now, I did a lot of bubble wrap on the outside, so this one's going to be really well protected. There's no way that handle is going to get crushed or snapped at all because it's got a lot of bubble protection. And now with putting the cardboard on the side as well, it'll be fine. So there we go. All right, so there are my 3 pieces, technically 4, but 3 separate bundles are going to go in my box. Okay. Now, this is a 10 by 8 by 6 box. And what I will do, first off, is I'm going to put a layer of paper. So let me go grab a sheet of paper from my U-Haul box, my supply. I'm going to put a couple of this up. Elongated paper on the bottom. Now, what I do next is I take one of these foam pads and I just push it in. I don't cut it to size or anything. I want the excess. I want the extra bit of padding. So I cut that, I push that in. As you can see, it's covering the inside and there's some up on the sides as well. And that's good because that's extra protection. And then, so now there's a good cushion there. What I'm going to do is, the plate, these are going to go like this. One way, and one this way. Now, because of how thin this is, I've got lots of room to play with here. And if you notice, there's some push and give there. And that's good because if you can have a little bit of give, then you can push something else on top of it and really tightly push them in and really tightly pack them up. What I'm going to do is grab another piece of paper and there are gaps between them, as you can see. So I'm going to just do a small amount of this paper and put it up nice and tight. I'm going to fill these gaps because I don't want them moving around. I don't want any kind of chance of anything being able to shift. Switch the position of that one a little bit as well. So put this over in the corner, over there. Put one more over in that corner. We should be good. And again, so there, some pieces there to keep things tight. They're not moving at all. Now, what I do here, because it's only 2 plates, I'm going to layer them. I'm going to do a layer, and I'm going to use another piece of the bubble wrap. Again, these cost me $1.50, so I'm getting 3 sheets out of them. Okay, that pair of scissors just drive me crazy. All right, go away. There. Let's get the good ones. Go for the good ones. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to just leave it the way it is, put a layer of bubble wrap between the glasses, the cups, and I'm also going to put a piece of cardboard. A fairly solid piece of cardboard. So I'll use two. I'll use 2 pieces. I'll cut this off. Cut that off. Like that. So we'll put 1 piece here. Use another piece on the other side. There we go. That works. That'll work. Well, we're riveting entertainment here on YouTube today. All right. So that goes like that. So got the bubble wrap on top of the 2 cups that were wrapped. We've got this on top of that. And I'm going to put this, the actual cups, the saucers, on top of that. Now, there is quite a bit of room. There's a good 1/2 inch of room, which is good. Because now, what I'm going to do is wrap up the edges of the saucer with paper, because I don't want that to move or shift or slide. That's when you get into trouble. So I'll go lengthwise on this, make this a super skinny, basically paper wrap, like this. I'll wrap this all the way around here. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. And again, as you can see, I can push down on that because of the styrofoam on the bottom. There's a little bit of give there, and I sort of want that, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the other piece of styrofoam on top, tuck in the edges, because there is room around the saucer to tuck in the edges and all the corners, and then that's perfect. That's really perfect. So now, as you can see, I've tucked in the edges. So not only do I have the paper surrounding the saucers, but I have the edges tucked in with the styrofoam. Now it's bubbling up a little bit, but that's only because it's pushing in from the edges. So there's just a tiny bit of give there. That is perfect. And then what I'm going to do is stop the video right here, because I'm going to put in one of my little notes, my thank you note, which thanks people for their purchase and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm going to close it up. As you can see, there's a little bit of give, but as I close it up and I have it like that, tight, you can hear, listen, there is nothing moving inside of that box. That is a very well protected, well padded, not very heavy because it's all bubble wrap and styrofoam, and it's going to go to California. So that's it. That's how I do my ceramics. And that's a little different because there was two cups and 2 saucers. I would use a smaller box with 1 piece of styrofoam if it was just 1 piece going, and I would cut that to fit inside the smaller box. But for this one, it's perfect. As you can see, there you go. So total cost of inside pieces for protection, 2 pieces of styrofoam at 60 cents each is $1.20, and 1 full sheet of bubble wrap pretty much for $1.50 from the dollar store. So $2.70 for the packing stuff, and off it goes to California. So anyhow, that's how I do it, and hopefully it shows you a little bit of how I protect my ceramics and my teacups and saucers. And yeah, something a little different here on the channel. And I hope it maybe gave somebody some ideas on how to wrap up your stuff if it gets purchased and has to go a long distance, like across the country, like most of my stuff does these days. Anyhow, that's it for now. Cheers. See you very soon on a new episode of M Cubed, and have yourself a great thrifting week. Bye for now.